Jurgen, the Premier League are advising referees this weekend to go to pitch-side monitors when VAR wants to change a decision on a red card, whether it's to upgrade to a red from a yellow or to downgrade to a yellow. What are your thoughts on that? Is it about time that they started using the monitors more? Do they need to use them more?
I think using the monitor, the only reason for having the monitors is using it, I thought. I don't 100% know, or I don't know 100% why they were not used so far. We go about the right decision, so if we can make the right decision, then I think we should all use all sources. I don't hope it will happen like 5-6 times a game that the ref has to go to the monitor, but in this, I read the email, so I saw that it will not happen with all decisions. It's just about 100% clarification, and if that's needed, then you have to use all sources.
Obviously, we will build this game up, given the rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester United. They will want to do all they can to at least slow you up in the title race. How do you see it?
It's a very, very important football game. Very important, like games against pretty much all opponents. That's how it is. I think we have to learn dealing with with games like this in the right manner. So we did not too bad in the past, but we still can improve. I think the game at United is a good example that we were not at our best in a game where we should be because of the quality of the opponent. We were not bad that day, but it was not. We were at our best, so that's how it is, and we have to make it more likely that we are at our best in a game like this. For this, you have to treat it like you treat all very, very important games. For us, the next is always the most important, so we don't make a difference. We all know about the importance it makes to our supporters, but or how important it is to our supporters. But we cannot. I hope people understand it. It's like we play against Everton. It's like a add-on that. It's for them. We play all games for our supporters, not only these games. The only reason we do it because some people brought us together, that we play for Liverpool, and Liverpool is obviously the natural enemy of some clubs. We have more natural enemies than other clubs have. So for the reason is our history, probably how successful this club was. But we said it long ago. I said it long ago. We have to write our own history. And that means we have to play the games our way, and that's what we try. So very, very important game, most important at that weekend for sure for us, and so that's the way we want to approach it.
Looking at the squad as well, do you get Matip and Fabinho back into the squad this weekend, and how far away are Love, Milner and Keita?
Yes, looks like Joel and Fabinho, they trained now completely normal yesterday, at least, and the day before. So that means they are likely to be in the squad. The other three not. What's three? Yeah. Not, but they are getting closer and closer. Dejan, I think, will train 100% from Monday on. With the other two, I don't know exactly. I cannot rush it. So when somebody tells me they are ready, then I take them back in training.
I know you said you've not done badly against Manchester United recently, not done amazingly. I think 5 out of 7 have been draws in Premier League matches. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, we found a nice way of playing against them. So have you found a nice way for this match to play against them?
For this game, no? Hopefully. I don't know 100% about the results. I know about the games, and they were not games like you would imagine when United plays against Liverpool. Like that's why I said it's not about how games have been in the past. So there have been good times for Liverpool, good times for Man United, and then there was always one clear favorite and stuff like this. But both teams tried to win it, and I think in the last 2 years the away games were especially strange from that point of view. So it was like, of course, I said it after the game, and I heard Ole got confronted with that as well, that I say that United only defended today. I don't know it exactly anymore if I said it, but probably it's true. Yes, that's how it is. Because I felt it in that moment. It's strange when you play against a high quality team, what United still is, and they, play the way they play. So that makes life really difficult. We had it now with Tottenham, so that's the truth. So we had after 70 minutes, I think we had around about 80% possession. That's not normal. How can you expect something like that? And on the other side, the counterattacks are highest level in the world. That's for Tottenham with the players they have, and that's for Man United for sure as well. I don't say they only counter-attack, but it's a main thing for them to do. If people want to see that as criticism, I cannot change that, but it's not. It's just a description of the situation, and that makes of course life for us more difficult. That's how it is. If it's an open game, then play football. Here's space, there's space, stuff like this. But that's the way it is.
And while we all love seeing goals, you love stopping them at the moment. 6 successive Premier League clean sheets, which is even more comparable to the previous 15 where you only had 2. So has something specifically clicked in the last 6 matches that you can put your finger on, or?
No. No, we were never concerned about not having clean sheets. It's not that we, before the game, the main thing we shout through the dressing room, clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. It's not like that. You want to have it because it makes it more likely to win the game, than as easy as that is. But before that, the goals we conceded, they were never the same goals. We conceded all of a sudden goals after set pieces, which was very uncommon before. Here, a little lack of concentration. There, a challenge with, I don't know, came a millisecond too late or whatever, and so they could score. There was not a clear pattern that we saw, okay, that we have to improve. It was all about concentration, getting more and more used to each other, luck in the right moment, and a very good goalkeeper. There are no clean sheets without an outstanding goalkeeper, and we have that. It was not about Adrian when he played, because he played so far only good games for us, really good games. So, yeah, you see. And it's us getting used to each other, so getting more and more convinced about things. And how is that? Luck in the right moment. Life and football without luck is now, you don't have a chance. I think, especially Wolves were a couple of times in really good at shooting opportunities. Tottenham kind of as well. That was not about defending. Then at the end it was about how they finished it off, and Ali's safe. So we have to be honest in this situation. It's not that we defended now completely perfect in the last 6 games. There's a lot of space for improvement, but we knew that.
Jurgen, it's 3 years ago this week since Trent Alexander-Arnold made his Premier League debut.
Against United.
It was against Manchester United as well. Fabulous footballer, but what is it in his makeup, apart from just the natural ability, that's allowed him to develop into the player that he is now? And how much further can he go and improve, and what will make him even better?
The games he plays will make him better. The experience he makes will make him better. His teammates will make him better. Being around these boys made him better, will make him better. His game understanding will improve. It's already really good, but will get better. That's a natural thing. Apart from injuries, to be honest, I don't see anything what can stop him because the attitude and his private background is just so good. He's so passionate, yes, very, but calm as well. So that's very, very good basis his family created there for him, and he's a very close relationship to them, which is good. And so they keep him grounded. Not sure he needs it, to be honest, but if he would start flying, then I know exactly who would get him back. I don't have to do that. And so that's how when you are a talented footballer and you have an outstanding attitude, if you love the game as much as he loves the game, and you have the background he has, then that's a very good. It's pretty likely that you will have a proper career. So a lot of good things came together, and so now we have this kind of player. Long may it continue.
Maybe a lack of consistency is to do with the gap between you and them, but they've got an awful lot of pace at the top end of the pitch, haven't they? if you look individually and collectively. So how will that inform your tactics on Sunday for the game?
Yep. How it always does. So I think it's the majority of the time we face teams who are set up like this. We want to be dominant. We have to be dominant. Most of the teams we are dominant. Not always exactly like we want, but majority of the time we have the ball. Means you have to protect these situations. You have to be as creative as possible. You have to be. Offensive football only works if you use the full size of the pitch in the opposite half, I would say. That makes you pretty vulnerable in the moment when you lose the ball. And so you have to make sure that you don't lose the ball, or if you lose the ball, you have to win it back as quick as possible, or if you don't do that, then you have to be protected in a best possible way. That's how football works, and that's exactly, the better the team gets, the better the player gets, the more important it is that you have this mindset. You cannot only be focused on offensive things. We respect them a lot. We respect them a lot. They are not, how I said, there's not only a counter-attacking team. That's how they played against us. We made an analysis, and in all the games they played, they had done a playing build-up. Even against Man City, against us, they played. It was 80% long build-up. So how can we know exactly how they will set up? Maybe they found now specific Liverpool way to play against Liverpool. But the difference between playing at Old Trafford and playing at Anfield is massive, and we want to show that as well. How is that? It's just it's a football game. And there are specific things you have to do. And the better the opponent gets, the more consistent you have to bring them on the pitch. And this game asks us for perfection. That's how it is. Because, how I said, you lose the ball in the wrong moment, and then the train starts going. And that's what is clear. But it's about us to make sure that will not happen. Relegated. He got relegated.
Well, happens.
Yeah.
You said earlier about Liverpool having natural enemies, or some natural enemies. Do you feel this season you've gained more enemies because of the form you are in and the dominance you've had in Premier League?
No. I still don't know enough about the specific Liverpool history. But look, when we play United, it's the most important game of the year. When we play Everton, it's the most important game of the year. So now City is getting more and more this kind of enemy. It's only a football enemy. We don't have to make it bigger than it is. But I said last year, second last match day, going to Newcastle, I had no clue there were any problems in the past between Newcastle and Liverpool. But it felt like the only thing they wanted to have that day, not only winning the game, but on top of that we will not be champion. That's only the feeling I got. Nobody told me that. But the game was so intense, it was incredible. Newcastle, I think, that they didn't play for anything really, like on top of that, like maybe another position in the table, but it was not that they had to stay in the league or going for European League or something like that, if I'm 100% right. So that's special. You go there and think, oh, anything happened in the past? And so you feel that quite some time when we go somewhere, and I don't think that happens to all the team. I don't think we gained any new of them, but we have already enough, to be honest. It's already tough enough.
Yeah, I just wondered what you made of the decision to change the Africa Cup of Nations from, say, a summer tournament back to a winter one, and the impact that's going to have on you next January, February.
Do we really want to open this book now? So, I couldn't respect the African Cup of Nations more than I do, because I like the competition. I watched it a lot in the past in my life. Very interesting tournament. Most difficult circumstances, a lot of times, and players, what they make of it. Sensational players. You see the first time there, but not the last time, because they show up in Europe and everywhere. Oh, really interesting. But it's an obvious problem that you play a tournament in the middle of a season, like I did. That it makes more sense for Africa to play it maybe in our winter. their winter as well, so when the weather is better for them. I get that. The only problem is, it's a general problem. So a couple of things which are not okay. One thing is the FIFA plans a tournament in the summer of 21. Yeah. A week later or so, the actual African Cup of Nations would have started, I think, or maybe 2 weeks later. So another tournament for a lot of world-class players. I mentioned that in the past. Not sure if that was part of the decision when they thought, okay, it makes no sense to play it after that tournament, so let's play it again in the winter. Don't know, or the weather, or was the weather the real? That's one problem. That means another tournament. It's too many tournaments still, and that's one thing. The other thing, and that's true, it doesn't help African players. So we will not sell Sadio, Mo, or Nabi now because they have a tournament in January and February. Of course not. But if you have to make a decision about bringing in a player, it's a massive one. Because we don't have a player. You know, before the season already, you have for 4 weeks roundabout, you don't have him. So that's normal process. So as a club, we have to think about things like that. It doesn't help the players, for sure not. But these decisions are made without asking players, without asking managers, without asking anybody, just a decision. The FIFA, who should sort all of that kind of as the head of all these different associations, doesn't look like being involved. They're still happy having their 21 team World Cup, offering a lot of money. Obviously, I don't know the exact numbers, but it must be a lot of money for all the clubs involved. Means the clubs are like, well, maybe we can play it. Ask the managers, they would say no, but yes, we get paid off this money and stuff like this. It's a strange situation. Eh? So I know the discussions will start in the moment that we ask for lesser games, and everybody will tell us and take lesser money. So yeah, I'm ready to do so. Can say it here. I'm ready to do so. But I don't think it's just one problem. Eh? This country, whatever, European Championships, World Championships, all this stuff. We do always like nobody can live without that. It's like it's a natural right to have this. But we forget in this moment that these tournaments are played by players. They don't have a break. So, and I feel massively for Harry Kane. And now I heard maybe it's not in the Euros. So maybe first time some English people in the FA will start thinking, oh, too many games maybe. Always something has to happen that we start really thinking about it. So now we send all these guys in the summer in the winter again, in the middle of a season to a tournament in different circumstances and stuff like this, coming back to the African Cup of Nations. It's not easy to take. About the welfare of the players or stuff like that, nobody thinks. So these are really important things. So again, FIFA, UEFA, FAs of all countries have to come together and finally sort that. In this moment, the FIFA decides things without talking to the UEFA decides things without UEFA making the Champions League bigger. So, and then nobody talks to each other. It's just making a decision. It's a little bit like in England. In England, FA says, okay, we have only from the 4th or 5th round having the re-game. And the Carabao Cup says, as long as they have the re-games, we don't cancel the second semi-final. Ask one of the teams involved in the semi-finals what they think about this semi-final, playing another game in that period. So, and after that, you win a competition. If you win it, it's great. If you lose it, nobody remembers that you were in the final. That's the truth, what nobody says about, yes, it's silverware, great, but you push the boys through. And all these things, it's all never we really think about it. Everybody has his own reasons to keep the competition like it is and involve new competitions or more games and stuff like this. And that's the problem. And at the end, it leads to the little problem. Maybe it was part of that, to the African Cup of Nations going back to January and February, which is for us a catastrophe in that moment, losing 3 players. On top of that, we have absolutely no power. So if we would say, we don't let him go. The player is suspended. How is that possible that the company who pays the player cannot decide that the player has to stay or not, for example? Because if you would say, let's play the African Cup of Nations, but the players playing different in other countries, not in Africa, for example, cannot play it still would be a great tournament, but not the superstars, but the superstars of tomorrow. For example, I don't say that's a solution for it. It's just strange that we have absolutely no say. If a player is injured here, and we say he's injured, he cannot play for us, we have to send him to Africa, and then they have a look. Yeah, maybe in 1 or 2 weeks he's back. There's all things, and by the way, it's with all the other things, it's the same. So if FIFA, we don't have any say. We just sit there and plan the route, plan the flight for the boys, and here you go. Here you have them. And these are all things which is nowadays should not be like this. But I speak here about it, and nobody will listen. It's like the biggest waste of time ever. The Mona from Liverpool or whatever is again on track. So it's as long as nothing changes, I will say it all the time. It's because it's about the players. It's not 1 second about me. There's so many things to sort, but all these guys never find time to sit all together on one table and discuss that and make a general schedule. Here we have it, and on all these different games you have to play. Yeah, here is a break for the players, right? Let's respect that. But if you have that break, then don't make a re-game in this break or whatever. Then this would help massively.
Two TVs to finish with then. Ingrid, anything from TV2 now? And then we have Sophie.
Yes, ma'am. Yesterday I have an interview with Adrian and Silveira and tell me Jurgen Klopp is incredible. Is the best coach at the moment. Really, do you think Jurgen Klopp is the best at the moment? And then I'm from Madrid. Do you think Simeone and Atletico Madrid needs Cavani to win Liverpool? Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Wow.
2 questions.
Yeah. So easy. The first answer is easy to answer. The first question is easy to answer. No, I'm sure I'm not. So that's easy. The second, but it's nice that Arian says it. But if I would be employed by me, then I would say the same. So the second one was Cavani. Yeah. I think that Morata and Felix are already dangerous enough. So I don't hope. And Diego could he be back?
At the moment,
Not, but maybe.
Correa, yes.
He is. So good. So yeah. So there have been enough good strikers. I hope they don't sign Cavani. But I heard Thomas Tuchel said he needs him as well. So maybe. So, but didn't start really analyzing Atletico. I watched them a lot, but not analyze on an analyzed basis. We will do that, and then we will see if we have to involve Cavani or not. That's it.